We shall continue our discussions on asymptotic notations. If you observe a couple of things with respect to big O, big omega and big theta, for example, n is theta of n is order of n, and n is omega of n. And this can be generalized. These are all functions, right? So functions can be related. So one can talk about the interesting properties that we have seen in the context of relations like reflexivity, symmetricity, and so on. So the very first property is reflexivity. This can be generalized. You can see that n log n is theta of n log n, and n log n is omega of n log n, and this is order of n log n, which means in general if f of n is an asymptotic function, f of n is order of f of n, and f of n is omega of f of n, f of n is theta of f of n, which means these operator, they satisfy reflexive property. So big O is reflexive in nature, omega is reflexive in nature, theta is reflexive in nature. Let's look at symmetric or symmetry property. We know that if you look at n is order of n square, and n square is not order of n. Similarly, if you look at n is omega of 1. Omega of 1 meaning constant function. This is linear in n. This is, if you say just log n, then logarithmic n. This is constant. When do we write such functions? Suppose step count of an algorithm is say 5, which means it involves just print, scan, and things like that. And this is my f of n. This can be written as 5 into 1. So my constant is 5, and for all n naught, for all n greater than or equal to n naught, this is true. So which means 5 is less than or equal to 5 times 1, which means 5 equals omega of, okay, this is with respect to order, so order of 1. You can also write 5 is at least 5 times 1, so which means 5 is omega of 1, and from these two one can write it is theta of 1. In general, if step count is constant, say k, then it is k times 1, which means k is omega of 1, k is order of 1, k is theta of 1. So if step count of an algorithm incurs constant effort, then in asymptotic sense you can write them as omega of 1, order of 1, and theta of 1. Fine. So you see that n is omega of 1, but 1 is not omega of n. We see that n square is theta of n square. This n square also you can write, this n square is theta of n square. For some it will satisfy, n is order of n, this n is order of n. But there are functions for which if n is order of n square, then n square is not order of n. What does that mean? If f of n is order of g of n, it need not imply that g of n is order of f of n. Counter example is here. Similarly, if f of n is omega of g of n, so this need not imply g of n is omega of f of n, which means symmetricity is not true with respect to omega and this, but theta is symmetric in nature. So theta is symmetric. So f of n is theta of g of n implies that g of n is theta of f of n. Fine, as you can see, n square is theta of n square, so therefore this. One can also take like this. So n square plus 5n plus 6. So we say it is theta of n square. And in asymptotic sense, if you see, order of growth of this is n square, order of growth of this is n square, which means n square is also this. So which means n square plus 5n plus 6 is upper bounded and lower bounded by appropriate constant. So you can find c1 times n square, on this side c2 times n square. On the similar line, one can also write you have n square is upper bounded by some constant times n square plus 5n plus 6, lower bounded by some constant times n square plus 5n plus 6. Okay, so although we don't write n square is equal to theta of n square plus 5n plus 6, when we write the notation, we don't write, but I am comparing them in the context of describing whether they respect symmetric property or not. We don't write n square like 5 times n square or n square is n square plus 5n, because we just focus only on the leading term as far as asymptotic notations are concerned. And a slight variation from the definition, just to highlight that theta respects symmetric property. I am saying n square can be upper bounded by some constant times this function, lower bounded by some constant times this function, so that one can say n square is equal to this. But in strict sense, we don't write n square equals this, because we always focus only on the leading term, suppressing the linear term and the constant term. Just for the sake of comparing the functions and just to highlight that it respects symmetric property, I made slight deviation from the definition. Okay.